So for this 2-week cycle, I did my questions on what is worth teaching. My first question is, how do school districts choose class curriculums? And I think it honestly depends on the school district themselves. Sister Eddington had mentioned when on the real-time board that she had 2 different opportunities to help in choosing the curriculum. And the first time they proposed different curriculums, and then they kind of scored the ones that they liked best, and then they chose the ones that were the highest scores. And she said on a second occasion that the district level personnel, they just chose the curriculum that would give them like the most for their money, so that it was, not as expensive as it could be, but they're still getting a lot. So it's not very very well thought of the students. It's just kind of there's some ways where it does, and then some ways where they're just like, how can we save the most money? So it really depends, probably on the year and on the school district. My second question is everything being taught in schools today truly useful in the real world? In my opinion, I don't think it is. So obviously, I'm an English education major, so things like pre-cal are not relevant to my field of study. And so in high school, for my graduation, I only had to take 3 years of math, but I had a friend who convinced me that I should take a 4th year. And for some reason, I decided to take pre-cal, whereas decision ever, not something that I needed. And that's not something that, helped me, not something that I use now. I don't know the difference between sine and cosine now. And there was, though, one class at my high school that was offered that was kind of like the money management class that is offered here, that kind of teaches you how to do a budget. And I think that they should have more options like that for students, especially if they're not going or planning to go into like an engineering field, just because, that math isn't half the kids' strong point, but teaching them of how to budget and things like that will actually help them in the real world, while also gratifying that credit that they need. And then my last question is, how do we measure the worth of what is being taught? And I really think that it depends on the subject and the teacher and the school district. It's a bunch of different factors. Like I said, with that one math class, that's a lot more worthwhile for somebody who is not planning on being an engineer or a computer science or something like that than it is for somebody that is going into one of those majors. So for that one, I really think it's perspective. Things like, history classes to me right now are just as important as my English classes, because I'm an American history education minor. So those are important to me, but somebody that's deciding to, hey, I want to be in physical education, and then like a Spanish minor, neither of those classes would really help them. So I really do think that really depends on the student themselves, on what is going to help them, and then the way that teacher teaches it. Sometimes teachers will just teach it in a way where it's not something that can be tangible and can be used. So just really, there's a lot of different factors that can go into that. So those were my questions this week.